Guys, welcome to another episode of 3SSR's Footy Hit. I'm Peter Teros, and John's not here again because he just got back today actually from wherever he was. I can't remember where he was exactly. He was in another country and he just flew back in and he's jet lagged, so he's not doing the show with me today, which I think is a bit soft, but don't tell him that. Just joking. Anyway, kick off the show. We'll go back to last week. North Melbourne took on the Hawks, and I tipped the Hawks by a long shot. And North Melbourne actually came out really hard, dominated the match, and won the game. So credit to North Melbourne. Richmond came out against the Lions, and as I said, as I thought, the Tigers got up, but definitely not that. It wasn't that much dominance by the Tigers, although they were in front of every break. They didn't really dominate the game as well as they would have liked. Winning the game by about 25 points, and Tyrone Vickery dominated that match. Probably the best game I've ever seen him play. GWS took on the Adelaide Crows, and Adelaide demolished them. While the Suns took on Collingwood and beat them by 5 points, though lost Gary Ablett with I think a broken shoulder, something wrong with his shoulder. So interesting to see how he pulls in the Brownlow. Melbourne versus Fremantle. The Dockers did absolutely roll the Demons, while Essendon just got over the line of Port Adelaide, which was another upset for the round, while Carlton demolished St Kilda, and Sydney beat West Coast, and Geelong just got over the Bulldogs, as I thought the Bulldogs put up a pretty good fight, like I said last week they would, and they performed quite well over Geelong. The Hawks take on Adelaide this Friday, and I think that Adelaide pushing for a final spot, and Hawthorn trying to redeem themselves after last week. I think the Hawks will just win, but I think it'll be a lot closer of a match than what people think. Melbourne take on Geelong. Geelong have been pretty good, but they've been not as great. They've just been winning games. They haven't necessarily been dominating games, while Melbourne have improved a lot. I think the game will be under 40 points, but I think Geelong will win. St Kilda versus North Melbourne. Now, North Melbourne have been a bit inconsistent this year, while St Kilda have been quite ordinary this year. I can't see St Kilda getting rolled a third week in a row by a really big margin. I think they'll fight hard. They've got some pretty good big ins with Lenny Hayes and Sam Fisher, but I can't see them beating North Melbourne. The Swans take on the Dogs. The Swans are going to really... the Suns take on the Dogs. The Suns are going to really want to win this game if they're going to cement themselves in a final spot, if they want to keep competing. The loss of Gary Ablett for the season is going to be a big one, but to see if they can make finals without their star, it's going to be a really big task for them. I hope they win, and they should win, but at the same time, the Dogs have improved this year and have played quite some really good football. The Lions take on the Eagles, and the Eagles have some really big outs here. Most of their key players are big in with Nick Nat-Nui, but a lot of outs for the Eagles. I'm going to tip the Lions, only because of the amount of outs that West Coast have. They're not having the greatest of seasons. They started off really great, and they've really dropped off late. West Coast are a good side, but I can't see Brisbane losing this one. There's a lot of outs on West Coast side, so I think the Lions might just get over the top. While Sydney take on the Blues. The Blues did come off a really good win against St Kilda last week, but the Swans are very dangerous, and especially at the SCG. I think it'll be a big 80-point win. I think Carlton are going to be at the bottom of it. Richmond take on Port Adelaide, and I can't see the Tigers winning a third in a row, but at the same time, they've got some pretty good ins with Nick Vlaston, and I think Sean Hampson's coming in as well, so they've got some good ins, I suppose. Matt Thomas might be playing as well against his old former side. It'd be an interesting one. I can't see Richmond getting destroyed, but I don't see them winning. But good luck. I hope they win, but I can't see them winning. While Essendon take on Collingwood. Now, as we know, the Anzac Day rematch, Collingwood did come back from about 30 points behind, I think it was, last time they've played. But this is an interesting one. See, if Essendon win, they can go as high as 6th, which is where Collingwood's sitting at the moment. And if Collingwood lose, they can go as low as 10th. So I'm kind of hoping the Bombers win on this one. And I'm sure a lot of people that don't, not big fans of Collingwood are probably hoping the same thing. But for Collingwood's fans, they're going to really need to see them win, because they could fall out of the 8 by just losing this one match. And the last game of the round, the Dockers take on GWS. I can't see GWS getting anywhere near the Dockers. Anyway, that's all we have time for another episode of 3SR Footy Hit. I'm Peter Teros. John will be back next week. See you later, guys.